Today, folks, I'm going to take you back to the 1920s and the cafe culture of Vienna. Have I had to hop on a flight to Austria to do so? No, just a train to London. I'm here in Marylebone. Is it Marylebone? Marylebone? I'm never quite sure. Behind me here is a place called Fischers. Now this is an Austrian restaurant set up here in Marylebone in 2014. Focused very much on that 1920s vibe of the cafe culture there. They get breakfasts, you can have lunches there, it's open for dinner too. Dinner's where you're going to get all of your proper Austrian classics, your spätzle, your great big schnitzels, all that kind of thing. I'm here for breakfast. I want to get a nice Austrian style coffee and see what they've got on their breakfast plates. I'm excited to try it. Normally when I come to London, it's just a fry-up somewhere. Might be a posh fry-up, like a BAFTA. Might be a more down-to-earth one, like a Paolo's or Polici's. Today, we're going to try something different. Austrian breakfast. Come on, let's get inside. So I've come in and been seated, folks, and you can probably see behind me. It's quite an opulent looking room. Very evocative of places I've been to in Vienna. You've got the dark wood panels, you've got that sort of traditional artwork on the walls. Really nice solid wooden tables here. And the menu has got lots of different kind of Austrian classics mixed in with a few English dishes. So you've got all your cereals, including the Bircher muesli. On the Frühstück breakfast options, most of them are kind of British, but there's a bunch of different kind of egg dishes. You can get a fry-up if you want a full English. But they also have a Viennese breakfast, which is more like a continental breakfast, with ham, salami, cheese, hard-boiled egg, and a spiced apricot chutney. That sounds pretty interesting. I think I might give that a try. They also have things called gröstels and rostis. The gröstel is kind of like a, I don't know, it's close to what you'd call a hash in the States, I suppose. Fried potatoes with onions, and then you get bacon and scrambled eggs and stuff like that in there. And the rostis, they've got a sweet potato one, a black pudding one, and a pastrami one, which sounds pretty good. They've also got a Weisswurst on here. Do you remember when me and Gary were in New York? In a video on his channel where we went to that German restaurant, the worst restaurant in New York, and we had a Weisswurst there. Oh, that was shocking. Didn't enjoy that at all. Also, a whole range of different coffees in the sort of traditional Austrian style. The Milanga, the Wiener Kaffee, the Einspänner. These are all things that have kind of whipped cream in them. Not very healthy. All sorts of different teas and hot chocolates too, if that's your thing. Yeah, really, really interesting menu. It's something, like I say, a bit different to your normal breakfast I'm picking up in London. I'm definitely going to go with that Viennese breakfast. That sounds really good to me. And I did look online where they actually have the calories on there. It's ham, salami, cheese, and all that sort of thing. And it comes in at about a third of the calories of the English breakfast. So it's a health food as far as I'm concerned. Therefore, I'm definitely going to enjoy it, and I can have something else to go alongside it. So I'm going to get myself a coffee ordered, get some food ordered, enjoy the ambience of this room. It's pretty busy in here. Yeah, I like it. I like it. So I've been sat at my table now for the best part of quarter of an hour, I would say, and no one's even come to take a drinks order from me, which is a little bit disappointing. There's plenty of staff stood around, not doing an awful lot. I'm not going to attract anyone's attention. It's kind of a challenge now. We're going to see how long it takes someone to come and take my order. It's been, 15 minutes so far, and there's a big, big clock hanging from the ceiling in here, so I can really keep up to date with exactly how long it's taking. Can I please try a Wiener Cafe? I'd also like the pastrami rosti, please. And can I also take the Viennese breakfast as well? Okay. 18 minutes that took to get my order in, but I got a coffee coming. Actually, I should have asked for some tap water to go with it. I'll do that when they bring the coffee and the breakfast over. Gone for the pastrami rosti. So that is with poached egg and a mustard hollandaise. Sounds nice. And the Viennese breakfast. Yeah, looking forward to these. Hopefully, it won't take quite so long for them to end up on my table. Okay, folks, so just 5 minutes later, my coffee has arrived. This is the Wiener Cafe. So basically, it's espresso coffee, and then it gets topped with cream, whipped cream. So you know, I was basically saying that the Austrian breakfast was a health food. I think I've just negated that by having this coffee. Now, there are a couple of ways you can go about this. You can just try and sip it out, or you can kind of eat it with a spoon, or you can mix it all together. I think it's pretty much however you want to do it. So let's just give it a little try like that. That is a very, very strong espresso. But the cream just brings it down that little touch. Not enough to dissipate that kind of strong, almost bitter flavour. Oh, that's delicious. That really is rather good. Of course, the cream is cold. So this is like, it's not like a hot coffee. The espresso underneath would have been hot originally. But of course, as soon as you mix that cream into it, it becomes almost room temperature. That is definitely going to wake me up. No doubt about that. So that took about 20 minutes, I reckon, from ordering to get in the breakfast. We have the two dishes here. I'll briefly show you this one up here like that. We have the Viennese breakfast there, the continental style one. I'm going to save that for second, because obviously the rusty one is warm. That's all cold stuff, so that can just sit and wait. So what have we got here for the rusty? I will refer to the menu to make sure we get it all correct. Pastrami, poached egg, mustard hollandaise. And it looks really nice. The rusty, very crispy to the touch. The mustard hollandaise is with a whole grain mustard, so you can really see the mustard in there. And the pastrami, it does just look like a slice of it on there. We're not exactly talking Cat's Deli portions here, that's for sure. And this comes in at $14.75 for that. Perhaps a little bit punchy. One little thing I will note, and you won't be able to pick this up on the camera, but I can because of the way the lighting is set here. There are loads of little spotlights above me which are shining down onto this plate, and I can see every little fingerprint of every person who's touched this plate since it was last washed up. So I can see the chefs and whatever. You need to just wipe round with a cloth as it comes out on the pass. Yeah. It's a little bit off-putting when you can see all those fingerprints, isn't it? Right, anyway, let's get into this. The poached egg on the top feels nice and springy. I'm going to cut into it and see how it is inside. Yeah, that's oozing everywhere. Just cooked. Just cooked. Yeah, I like that. And that's going to mix in with that hollandaise. Beautiful. So, I'm going to kind of try it in individual little bits first. I want to try this rusty kind of by itself. It's like what a hash brown should be, isn't it? I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. Well, I've got a real crisp to the outside. And see under here. Oh, yeah. Seasoned very nicely with salt. No pepper on there. And it's nice and soft inside too. Oh, yeah, that is great. Let's try this pastrami. Again, see if I can get a bit kind of by itself. I got a little bit of the hollandaise on there. It's proper pastrami. It's not that rubbish you get from the supermarkets. Really nice chew to it. Good flavour from those herbs and spices on the outside too. Very pleasant. Okay, we're going to go in for the whole lot now. The egg, the pastrami, the rusty. I've got to say, you could probably do with a sharper knife. That would be helpful. And even though I've got two dishes, they've only brought me one knife, one set of cutlery. So I might have to give this a little wipe down in between the two dishes. Come here. Let's get you all on the fork together. That's very tasty. Of course, the mustard hollandaise goes very nicely with that pastrami. Beef and mustard, isn't it? Classic. The egg, like I said, just cooked. I mean, for some people, I'd say it's possibly slightly under. It's almost snotty in the middle. But I love the creaminess of it. It's been poached with a little bit of vinegar in the water. That complements a tiny little bit of vinegar in the hollandaise too. It's a good dish. It's a good dish. I mean, effectively, it's a twist on an Eggs Benedict, isn't it? And £14.75 just for one egg on the rosti, which is basically just shredded potato. I think that's possibly a little strong, delicious though it is. Were this £11, £12? I think that's probably about right. Time to move on to the Viennese breakfast. On here we have the Black Forest ham, we have the salami, we have the Gouda infused with caraway, because caraway is a sort of a spice that's used an awful lot in Central European food. We have the hard-boiled egg, we have the apricot chutney, and for those of you playing the Greeno Eats drinking game, it might be January, you might be doing dry January, but tough, because we got Cornish on here, so get it down you. I'm not sure about the chutney with this, because there's no bread element to this dish, so I'm not quite sure how that works, you know. I think for something like this, if they were just to give you a slice of some kind of, oh dear, someone's broken something. If they were to give you a slice of like a dark rye bread or something along those lines, that would possibly work better than just a plate of this. I mean, I've noticed you can order toast separately, but there's no bread option. And again, we have the fingerprints all over this plate. Bit of a shame. I've cleaned up the cutlery best as I can. Let's tuck in. I'm going to start with the ham. We're just going to make our way across, basically. So this is Black Forest ham. Nice amount of fat running through it by the looks. Very nicely cured. Heading towards that sort of Parma ham consistency. Really good chew to it. Where it's got, you know, been kind of air dried. And a good flavour. And I'm going to say, you know, not an unfair portion of it here on the plate. Salami-wise, we have 3 slices. Now, normally when I think of a German salami, I think of something more with a sort of pepper crust to it. This doesn't have it. Maybe that's because it's not German, maybe it's Austrian. That might have something to do with it. Again, a really good flavour. Not too greasy. I find salami sometimes can be greasy because obviously there's quite a high fat content in there. It has a good flavour. Nothing that makes it really stand out though. But it is a good salami. Let's move this little bit of erroneous greenery out of the way and move on to the Gouda. A few little slithers of it here. I mean, by weight, I don't reckon that's much cheese, because this, you could basically glaze a window with it and still see through it. It does have a good flavour though. I like that caraway in there. The Gouda is quite a mature Gouda. I often find those sort of Dutch-style cheeses can be very, very bland. A bit plasticky. This is not. Hard-boiled egg. With a little bit of pepper over the top of it by the looks of things. So obviously this has gone completely the other way from the egg on the other plate. This is very much hard-boiled. That is salt and pepper on the top. Like a celery salt though, I think. I can definitely detect a celery hint. Served cold, it's not a warm hard-boiled egg. Like fridge cold. Perfectly nice. Egg's an egg, isn't it? The chutney now, I'm wondering what this is intended to go with. Maybe the cheese? It's very sweet. It's essentially an apricot jam. Though there is something with a little spice to it. Like there's some chilli behind there. Interesting. Cornichon, I mean, that will go with anything here. Well, a little bit sharp after that jam, mind. Not because they are sharp, I think it's just a contrast in flavours. Yeah, nice enough, nice enough. Again, aside from the ham, nothing I'm going to get overly excited about. I think they've let themselves down by not giving you a bread option on here. The cheese is probably my second favourite element. Don't see the point of that jam whatsoever, or chutney. Yeah, and this is what, £18.50 for this little plate of cold meats and cheese. Again, I think that's possibly a little strong, particularly seeing as you haven't got a bread to go with it. If you wanted a piece of toast or something, that's going to cost you another £2.75. The bells, the bells. Are they tolling for Fischers? That's the question. So breakfast there at Fischers in Marylebone. What do I think about it? I think decent without being exceptional is probably a good description. I like the room, I like the space, very elegantly done. Service, I found a little bit lacking, to be honest. I was waiting too long to get my order in. Wasn't brought any additional cutlery. It was all a little bit transactional, you know? Nothing that kind of stood out and made you think it was great service. The food itself, again, tasty enough. I just think a little bit overpriced for what it was. To get the rosti with just one egg and one slice of pastrami on there. And how much did that cost me? £14.75. I think that's strong. I think that should be about 12 quid. The plate of like cold cuts and cheese, I think maybe another cheese on there would have been a good option. And again, I think at £18.50 with no bread, I think, again, that is just a little overpriced. I think something in the region of £15 is a fairer price for that. The coffee was £5.50. Yeah, okay. Fair enough, you're in London, you're going to pay sort of that sort of money, aren't you? And it was very, very nice. Very, very nice. This place, though, has a 15% service charge, and I came pretty close to not paying it just because I was waiting so long. But literally, as I asked for the bill, the waitress came over with the card machine as well, and bang, done. Would I come back to Fischers? That's a good question. Do you know what? I'm not sure I would. I'm not sure I would. I like the fact it's a different type of breakfast here in London. I've not gone for a greasy fry-up or anything. I've gone for something a little bit different. But I just think it's too much money for what it is, and the service element really let it down. My total bill, including that 15% service charge, £44.56. Now, okay, I've had 2 breakfasts there, haven't I? So if you were to come as a couple or whatever, add another coffee on, you're looking at about 50 quid. Yeah, I just think it's a bit much, really. I just think that's a bit much for what it is. I've got to come up with a score. I mean, I'm thinking something mid-range. Food tasty enough, but too many elements that let it down. 5.5 out of 10 maybe? Something along those lines. Yeah. Not exactly taking you back to 1920s Vienna. Certainly not with those prices anyway. Without saying that, you go to Vienna for a cup of coffee now. That's going to cost you more than 5.5 quid probably, isn't it? Yeah. Bit meh coming out of there, to be honest with you. Does it get Greeno's green light? Nah, not really. But it's not a red light either. It's nice enough for what it is. You know, if you're in this part of town and you fancy something different for breakfast rather than, you know, a full English, go and try it out. See for yourself. See if you think a little more highly of it than I do. It was busy enough, so plenty of people clearly do. Right, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to click a thumbs up on there for me. It does help the channel. And if you're new around here and you've enjoyed this one, take a little look around the vault, see what else you see what else you like, and then consider subscribing, dinging your bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Right, where am I off to next? I don't know. But it's a nice sunny day. I've eaten 2 breakfasts, so I better go for a walk, hadn't I? I'll see you next time, folks. Bye for now.